my name's Mr. Wild. I'm teaching a computer class at Southern University. It's November 2015. I'm here with Alan. He's going to show us today about the OSI model. It's a network model that shows how data is passed on the network. It's a 7-layer called the OSI model, and I'll turn it over to him.
Alright, today we're going to go over the 7 layers of the OSI model. First layer is the physical layer. Alright, the physical layer, this layer conveys the bit stream, electrical impulse, light or radio signal through the network at the electrical and the mechanical level. It provides the hardware means of sending and receiving data on a carrier, including defining cables, cards, and physical aspects. Fast Ethernet, RS-232, and ATM are protocols with physical layer components. Other examples of physical layer, layer 1, include Ethernet, FDDI, B8ZS, so on and so forth, RJ45, last but not least. So the physical layer, that's a summation of the physical layer. Layer 2 would be your data link, or your data layer. At this layer, data packets are encoded and decoded into bits. It furnishes transmission protocol, knowledge and management, and handles errors in the physical layer, flow control, and frame synchronization. The data link layer is divided into 2 sub-layers. You've got the MAC, which is the media access control layer, and then you have the logical link control layer. The MAC sublayer controls how a computer or on the network gains access to data and permission to transmit it. The LLC layer controls frame synchronization, flow control, and error checking. Layer 2 data link examples include PPP, FDDI, ATM, IEE, so on and so forth. Layer 3, network layer. This layer provides switching and routing technologies, creating logical paths known as virtual circuits for transmitting data from node to node. Routing and forwarding are functions of this layer, as well as addressing, internetworking, error handling, congestion control, and packet sequencing. Layer 3 network examples include AppleTalk, DDP, IP, and IPX. Your 4th layer, that is the transport layer. This layer provides transfer of data between end systems or hosts, and is responsible for end-to-end error recovery and flow control. It controls complete data transfer. Layer 4 transport examples include SPX, TCP, and UDP. Let's go to layer 5. That is your session layer. In this session layer, this layer establishes, manages, and transmits connections between applications. This session layer sets up, coordinates, and terminates conversations, exchanges, and dialogues between the applications at each end. It deals with session and connection coordination. Layer 5 session examples include NFS, NetBIOS names, RPC, and SQL. Layer 6. That's your presentation layer. I think it may be referred to as another name, but presentation layer is commonly referred to. This layer provides independence from differences in data representation, aka encryption, by translating from application to network format and vice versa. This presentation layer works to transform data into the form that the application layer can accept. This layer formats and encrypts data to be sent across a network, providing freedom from compatibility problems. It is sometimes called the syntax layer. Layer 6 presentation examples include encryption, ASCII, EBCDIC, TIFF, GIF, JPEG, MPG, MIDI, so on and so forth. Layer 7, final layer, application layer. This layer supports application and end-user processes. Communication partners are identified, quality of service is identified, user authentication and privacy are considered, and any constraints on data syntax are identified. Everything at this layer is application specific. This layer provides application services for file transfers, emails, and other network software services. Telnet and FTP are applications that exist entirely in the application level. Tiered application architectures are part of this layer. Layer 7. Application examples include www browsers, NFS, SNMP, Telnet, HTTP, last but not least, FTP. That concludes my presentation of the 7 layers of the OSI model.
Okay, one thing we learned about this model is there's a lot of things happening just to send data or receive data. The common example of the application layer would be the web browser that Alan said. And when it goes on the physical layer, that's your cables, like he mentioned, and it has to go on the cables. This is a very complex network model. And it's helpful to know if you're trying to troubleshoot a network, sometimes if you get an error message at a certain point, you can tell about where it's failing on the network. Thank you very much for your presentation.